What up? It's the Grandpa MC coming at you with another video. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let's go to the house. Alright, so this one's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be about football. Might as well, cause might as well get my warm-up on, cause it's gonna be training camp before you know it. So I'm just speaking on this Asante Samuel and Chris Carter dust up over Chad Ochocinco. So if you don't know, Chris Carter called Ochocinco just a regular receiver. He had a time, but he, in Chris Carter's eyes, he really didn't move the needle. Then Asante Samuel came back and called Chris Carter a possession receiver and saying he's overrated and all that. I like all these guys that been talking that this is involving, but Asante Samuel's been on a tear ever since the Dion situation came up a few months ago. And plus he's from Florida. Chad Johnson's from Florida. Everybody know that, man. Now, what I'm going to say about Chad Ochocinco, I'm going to speak about him first before I get into Chris Carter. Chad Ochocinco, when he was playing for Cincinnati in his day, man, he was amazing. On the real tip, he was amazing, man. He was a touchdown machine. He was giving those entertaining dances. But like anything, if you indulge too much, then it could be a bad thing. And from the point that he put on that fake jacket after the touchdown, it wasn't the same. Now, I don't know if the NFL as a whole basically said that, we're gonna show you. But I can remember, I don't know, I can't remember when Chad Ochocinco was drafted. It had to be somewhere 99, 98, somewhere up in there. But after that moment, a little bit after that, rather, Chad fell off. Now he had some pretty good years afterwards, but after he left, after I think Cincinnati let him go, I think they released him. I don't think they traded him; they released him. After that, he tried to get on with New England, and he just couldn't catch on. Couldn't catch on to the, I'm not sure what happened there. I was thinking when he went to New England, I was like, finally, he gonna be in a offense that's gonna highlight his strengths. And he was supposed to be playing with Brady. I mean, like, Brady was the quarterback, so it didn't work out. So I mean, his peak was a little bit short, and that's the truth. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but as the years have gone by, and Chad's been talking on these podcasts, different interviews, whatever. He's a likable guy. He's a nice guy. He's fun-loving, all that. But I don't think he knew when to turn certain things off, and that was part of the reason why Cincinnati let him go, because that's when what's his name, the coach, Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis, the coach then. Marvin Lewis was one of his biggest advocates until he couldn't be anymore. So Chad, he was counting his chickens before they hatched, and it backfired on him. if he wouldn't have pulled that move with that jacket on the sidelines, I think he would have been in the Hall of Fame now. But it ain't just that. He's borderline. So, I mean, you know, they gonna make him wait. He might wait a while. Or he might not make it at all. That's a possibility. Like I say, his peak wasn't that long, and he wasn't in any playoff series that highlighted him. I mean, the biggest playoffs they was in, that was the playoff game that they that Carson Palmer got hurt when old boy from the Steelers, you know, they went low, tore that knee up, man. That was like, I think that was their last little shot. That was their first and last legitimate shot, because Carson Palmer and Cincinnati was a tight team, but they just didn't rise up from that point on. Now, as far as Chris Carter go, you know, like Chris Carter had a response to Asante Samuel. Chris Carter was real cool about it. He wasn't like amped like these other guys. He was just saying, he was like, yeah. You know, after he got told what Asante Samuel said, he was like, yeah, I was a possession receiver, but I was the best possession receiver. And he ain't lying. I don't think it's anybody. Mike, is it Mike now? Because Mike isn't considered Mike. I'm talking about Mike Evans. Mike Evans isn't considered a possession receiver, but I can't think of any other receivers, and I know it's some. I got to get my mind geared back up to football. Access them memories, man. But Chris Carter was correct, and he was the reason why Randy Moss, he was part of the reason, because that core as a whole. But Chris Carter was a big reason why Randy Moss had that breakout year, because he wasn't getting any double teams. I don't think most of the time he was going in single coverage against guys, especially when the early part of that season when they had that killer record. But Chris Carter he put in a great showing for himself. And what they used to say about him when the highlights, all he do is catch touchdowns. And it's amazing that he's been retired for a while now, and he's still fourth as far as total touchdowns for wide receivers. So, Chris Carter got a leg to stand on. That's the point I'm trying to make. And Chad, you know, Chad really ain't said nothing. Chad don't feed into that. He don't confront guys like that. You gotta really, really make him mad. I think I seen him mad like once or twice the whole time I've been seeing him on TV. I don't think I've seen him mad a whole bunch of times. He's a fun-loving guy. He's, you know, carefree, you know. So that's pretty much it, man. You know, like, I can't wait for the season to start. Asante Samuel was a great corner, but you know, where he was coming from, he was defending Chad, man. He was defending Chad. Florida roots, man. That's what that's all about. And I think Chris Carter, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Carter from East, one of the East states. But anyway, ain't nothing really gonna come of that. You know, that's probably gonna be it. But I just wanted to speak on it, get some football content in. So, Grandpa out.